He could become Patrick Mahomes. I feel very strongly about this. My esteemed colleague Louis Riddick made the comparison, and I can't believe more people aren't making it, frankly. The league did not see Patrick Mahomes coming. You have to do some projection here, and what I've seen on a per-snap basis is someone who plays the very same way, who all of his flaws are through understanding the defense's limitations, trying to play hero ball. He has Mahomes' flaws, and he has Mahomes' flash, and I think that's important in context.
Traeger?
I respect Kevin. I respect the heck out of Louis Riddick. I think that's setting up a very high bar. Now, I understand what they're saying. The off timing, the stuff off the one leg, like we've seen it, but can we rein it in a little bit? Can we rein it in just a little bit here? Patrick Mahomes was the greatest athlete on every field he has ever stepped on. Baseball, football. He didn't play football until he was a sophomore in high school and immediately became the best player in Texas and then showed up in the NFL and took the league by storm. That's a high bar. I don't know if I want to put that on Cam Ward.
I remember when I was getting set to host my first draft, the first time I was privileged enough to host the draft for this network, and there was a young quarterback who people were talking very highly about, and I heard them say, you know, he's got a little bit of Patrick Mahomes in him.
Yeah.
His name was Zach Wilson.
Oh.
Because he made this one crazy throw at a pro day.
Yeah.
So my point is,
how'd that work out?
We sometimes somewhat loosely throw around, he's got Mahomesian traits because he can throw the ball like this, sidearmed, and he can do it while on a dead run. I'm not knocking Cam Ward at all. I think he has a chance to be a terrific player, but I don't want to give anyone who's watching the impression that people in the league think we're about to get the next Patrick Mahomes.
I love draft comps because no one ever says like, oh, he could be Kyle Orton. There's no. It's a lot more likely he's Teddy Bridgewater. Like that's. So here's the thing. Yeah, I hear what Kevin's saying, right? But there's a lot of guys that have Mahomes' flaws and have Mahomes' flash and don't put it all together. Did he grow up around pro sports like Patrick Mahomes did with his father pitching in Major League Baseball? Did he land in Kansas City with Andy Reid, with Alex Smith in front of him for a year? Like all these things that conspired to make, does he have the same kind of championship drive? We don't know that about any of these guys until we see them at the pro level, see them compete in playoff games. Patrick Mahomes has done things early in his career that no one has ever done before. If he's anything like Patrick Mahomes, he'll be very fortunate, but I just don't think that's the right way to approach sizing up a draft prospect.
Neat, quick final word.
Yeah, I was on that episode with Kevin, and I crushed him for saying what he said, but I do have to defend him a little bit. The way that he phrased it was, he's a prospect similar to Patrick Mahomes. So he's not saying that he's going to be Patrick Mahomes because that would be asinine. He's saying that he has some of the same high-level abilities and the same drawbacks, which, I mean, it's a little bit of a trap door. If you bring up Patrick Mahomes, you know what you're doing, Kevin. You know what you're doing.
Yeah, look, I mean, if he was, I'm not knocking him at all. He deserves to be the first pick in this draft, and I hope more than anything that he has a wonderful career. If this was last year, he would have been the fourth quarterback taken. That's the reality of the situation. The three guys who went at the top of last year's draft would all have gone ahead of him.
I mean, like if he's Donovan McNabb, is that so bad? like seriously, right? I mean, that's a good play. Like, you don't have to be Patrick. Anyway,
100%. Okay, let's play a new game. Schrager, you're getting used to us here at ESPN. We're getting used to you. Here's what you're going to learn about me. I love cryptic social media posts that come with no explanation.
The Kansas City Chiefs are going all in, again. In just a few weeks, they've revamped their offensive line, added fresh firepower to their pass rush, and made moves that signal one thing. They're not just aiming to stay on top, but they're aiming to dominate. This video breaks down the Chiefs' latest aggressive moves, including the headline-grabbing signings of offensive tackle Jaylon Moore and defensive end Janarius Robinson. But that's not all. It also talks about the latest developments around Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, two pillars of the franchise whose off-field activities are cooking up a storm. Are these moves setting the stage for another Super Bowl run? Or are they signs of a team trying to find its footing amidst change? The first story is, the Chiefs are reinforcing their trenches with strategic signings. On April 4th, 2025, the Chiefs signed defensive end Janarius Robinson, a former fourth-round pick by the Minnesota Vikings in 2021 who spent the last 2 seasons with the Las Vegas Raiders. In 2024, he appeared in 10 games, recorded 5 tackles, half a sack, and 2 quarterback hits. Standing at 6 feet 5 inches and weighing 260 pounds, Robinson brings size and potential to the Chiefs' defensive line. While injuries have limited his playing time in the past, Kansas City sees untapped potential in him. Robinson himself views this as a fresh start that promises to unlock the full potential, which has been evident in flashes throughout his NFL journey. Just days earlier, on March 13th, the Chiefs addressed their offensive line by signing offensive tackle Jaylon Moore to a 2-year, $30 million deal. Moore, who spent the past 4 seasons with the San Francisco 49ers, appeared in 55 games with 12 starts. In 2024, he played in 15 games, starting 5 and primarily filling in for injured Trent Williams. The Chiefs' offensive line faced challenges in 2024. There were multiple changes at the left tackle position. By bringing in Moore, Kansas City is probably trying to stabilize the line and provide better protection for quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Moore's familiarity with Chiefs guard Mike Caliendo, his former college teammate at Western Michigan, could also help building cohesion on the line, expect analysts. Reportedly, these signings indicate the Chiefs' commitment to strengthening both sides of the ball and addressing major areas that needed improvement. Will these moves be enough to solidify the Chiefs' dominance? Or are they just the beginning of a larger transformation? The next story is about Patrick Mahomes. Last season ended in heartbreak. Mahomes walked off the field after a 40-22 Super Bowl loss to the Eagles, and the noise began immediately. Pundits, former players, headlines, all of them asked, has the Chiefs' window closed? But Mahomes chose to stay quiet. Behind the scenes, a lot was happening. Just days after the Super Bowl, Mahomes was hit with something any stat sheet tracks. His grandfather, Randy Martin, passed away. It came less than a year after losing his grandmother. Sources close to him said it was the hardest month of his life. He didn't post about workouts, nor did he release any hype videos. Instead, he went to Disneyland, not to escape, but to reset, say insiders. He took Brittany, Sterling, and Bronze to a full family trip. That photo of Mahomes holding his son outside the castle got more shares than any Super Bowl clip. Fans called it wholesome, but insiders say it was more than that. It was the much-needed therapy. Brittany said it best, he needed this more than any of us. But after that break, Mahomes got back to work. He returned to Texas quietly and started throwing again with teammates and personal coaches. The message to the locker room was something like, "We're not done." This offseason, Mahomes and Kelce announced something that grabbed every Kansas City headline: 1,587 Prime. This is a luxury steakhouse named after their jersey numbers. It's going to be classy, modern, and expected to open later this year downtown. The buzz around it isn't just the food, it's what it means. Mahomes is seemingly on the mission of building a legacy in the city. Then came the WNBA news. Mahomes publicly confirmed his interest in helping bring a WNBA franchise to Kansas City. He said he's been in early talks. He wants to fund, support, and help build a women's team from the ground up. Analysts praised it and teammates respected it. Female athletes across the league said it's the kind of leadership they've been waiting for. But still, Mahomes knows why people are watching. They want to know, is he still that guy? The numbers tell the story. In 2024, Mahomes posted 3,928 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions, one of his more efficient years under pressure. He finished the season completing 67.5% of his passes, while adding over 300 rushing yards. In the playoffs, he helped Kansas City beat Buffalo in a dramatic AFC championship, but fell short in the Super Bowl. Critics pointed to his decision-making late in games. Some questioned whether he's been worn down by the workload, but the Chiefs aren't worried. Coaches say Mahomes showed up to early off-season sessions sharper than ever. While others are still processing the loss, Mahomes has been pushing changes. He reportedly sat in on early offensive line meetings and gave input on free agent targets. He also reportedly helped push for the Jaylon Moore signing, a move designed to stabilize the left side of the pocket. Multiple Chiefs insiders said Mahomes is taking on more control than ever before. So what does this offseason say about him? After 2 personal losses, a Super Bowl defeat, and months of public questions, Mahomes didn't fire back with words, but chose to respond with work. Now the team is rebuilding pieces around him, and the biggest question lingers like smoke above Arrowhead. Is Patrick Mahomes about to write his greatest comeback yet? He could have walked away. He had 3 rings, a Hall of Fame resume, and a historic postseason run. For a second, just a second, it looked like he might finally call it. After the Super Bowl loss to the Eagles, all eyes turned to Travis Kelce, and the talk started. Is this the end? Has he done enough? Will he retire on top? And then, Kelce responded. He didn't hold a press conference, nor did he drop a documentary. Instead, he texted Pat McAfee. "I'm coming back for sure," he said. "I'm gonna get in the best shape of my life this offseason. I can't go out like that." That message changed everything. Because while Mahomes was dealing with pressure, Kelce was wrestling with something else entirely. His chapter was filled with disappointment, regret, and motivation. It wasn't just a loss, but the way it ended. 4 catches, no touchdowns, and a quiet night on the biggest stage. And for Kelce, that wasn't enough. So he got back to work. Less than a month after the Super Bowl, he was spotted in Georgia. Not on a red carpet, but at a local high school field, training with teenage tight ends, running routes, and leading drills. Kelce's still in it, wholeheartedly. Now, talking about the noise, Taylor Swift is still in the picture. They've been spotted in Malibu, Tokyo, and even at Disneyland with Mahomes' family. The headlines are constant, but people close to Kelce say the spotlight isn't a distraction. If anything, it's made him even more focused, and it shows. According to reports, Kelce has already met twice with new offensive staff in Kansas City. He's reviewing changes in motion packages, blocking setups, and red zone options. Coaches say he's pushing for more flexibility in pre-snap movement. Kelce reportedly told teammates he's taking 1 year at a time and this season might be it. He also said that before, but now it feels different. He's made peace with his legacy and said multiple times in interviews that if he's going out on his own terms. Even at 35, Kelce posted over 900 receiving yards last season. He added 5 touchdowns and caught 73% of his targets. He also set the all-time postseason record for catches, breaking Jerry Rice's mark with 156. He's not just hanging on, he's still breaking records. But the toll can't be ignored. Teammates say Kelce's been more reserved this offseason. The locker room energy has degraded, and there's been more planning, more meetings, and more tape. However, many believe the fire's still there and the team knows it. Kelce is not chasing stats anymore. Instead, he's chasing the perfect exit. And perhaps that's the most dangerous version of him the gallery has ever seen. The Chiefs are signing new weapons, doubling down on leadership, and turning every offseason moment into a statement. Mahomes is locked in, Kelce is reloading, and the front office is moving smart. Now the question is Kansas City still defending champions? Or are they already building their next dynasty? Stick around and subscribe, because the next chapter might drop faster than anyone expects.